host of the Gridiron.
All right, welcome to the Gridiron, baby. Welcome. If you can give this video a thumbs up and maybe share this video, that would be absolutely freaking awesome. If you subscribe to my channel, thank you. If not, please go down below, hit the subscribe button, hit that bell icon. That way, next time I go live or if I put a video out, you'll be notified. And it's free of charge. What do you got to lose, right? But if you are subscribed to my channel, thank you. Description box below, very top link. Takes you to my membership page. I got 3 different membership levels. Each one has their own little perks to them. So if you want to help support my channel out, it would mean so much to me. Once again, I thank you in advance. Thank you. And also, just underneath that link is another link takes you to my Facebook group. It's called the New York Giants The Gridiron. It's my Facebook group. We have over 9,400 members in the group. It's doing simply marvelous, might I add. Basically, if I'm alive and breathing, and if I got internet access, I am putting stuff in this group darn near 365. It's called the New York Giants The Gridiron. It's my Facebook group. Please join it. You will not be dissatisfied. I promise. All right. Well, all that stuff said and done out of the way. But, well, you got, I'll tell you what, this is, it's I guess it's one of those things, I mean, it's tough. It's a real tough call. You know what I mean? Real tough call. And, obviously, like, because Daniel Jones went in to talk to Mr. Mara initially, asked for his release. Just when I was reading, he didn't go in and talk to Shane. Looks like he went in and talked to wanted the big go. What's up, buddy? The boy Randy's here. Randy's in the house. Yeah, buddy. So he went into Mr. Mara's office and asked for his release. So it's kind of like, the Giants were almost damned if they did, damned if they don't, right? If they kept them around and just had them, what he said he wanted to do, right? What Daniel Jones wanted to do was hang around and help the other quarterbacks. The guy, whether you like him or I don't, a lot of people, you kind of like him, you love him, blah, 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 whatever. There's no denying. You can't take it away from Danny Dimes, right? He was, he tried, whatever the reason was, seeming like he kind of got worse. Whatever it was, if you can just take that aside, just put that aside. Whatever it was. There's no denying the guy was always like the first one in, the last one out. He always did. When he got injured, he did everything in his power to come back as soon as he could. He did pretty much almost everything he could to be the best he could. And once again, for whatever reason, it's going to be one of those maybe history's mysteries, right? Whether he goes to Minnesota or he goes wherever else and does really good or not, or whatever. What happened with him with the New York football? It's going to be one of those history's mysteries, right? You don't know why he maybe possibly got worse, but he did everything he could, to be the best he could. As I said, he wanted to stay around, and he said help the quarterbacks out, right, with film and routes or whatever, But the problem is that and of course if something would have happened, whatever, Danny Dimes was walking around and he tripped over the 7-man sled, twisted his ankle, whatever, snapped his ankle or something like that. And that now it's like, of course, the beat report and all of that would be like, how stupid are the Giants? What are they stupid? Now the Giants owe them $23 million. Now the Giants are the stupidest people ever. You know what I mean? Shane obviously is stupid because now they kept them around when they shouldn't have. You just let them whatever, let them go, whatever, I mean, so you don't have to pay the $23 million. So there's always it's like these beat reporters. It's like my wife. There's always a cataclysmic catastrophe going on with the New York Giants. Whatever the situation is, it's always wrong. There's never something right with the Giants, But I said in this case, Daniel Jones, asked for his release. With Mr. Mara and Shane and all of that and everything, they granted his release. Because the Giants basically did not want to have to, they were just trying to bubble wrap him. Basically, they whatever his workout regime, whatever they wanted, he wanted to do as far as maybe workouts and all of that, they really toned it down. Apparently, I guess they didn't even want the guy throwing the football. I mean, it's like, imagine coming in. No, I don't throw the football. Could you imagine that being a quarterback? So basically, they just wanted him to stay at home and collect his money, and everything was okay. But obviously, Daniel Jones didn't want to do that. He's healthy, right? Which is rather rare, especially behind the Giants' offensive line. I mean, how many years has Daniel Jones been banged up? It seems like he's always missed a game or so, or whatever. I mean, at this time he was finally healthy, right? And he wanted to at least be around, But they just trying to bubble wrap him so that the $23 million injury guarantee didn't kick into effect or take effect, right? So I mean, that really would have put a damper on the Giants, salary situation for next season. I mean, you figure $23 million. I mean, you get yourself somebody really nice. Now it's not going to bring in a top-notch quarterback. Now, whether they get somebody in the draft or not, I keep floating around like possibly Kirk Cousins, right? If they want to, maybe get rid of him and maybe start Penix, right? That's a possibility. Sam Darnold, maybe, I don't know, 25, 30. I don't know what a Darnold. I mean, because he doesn't have the track record, right? He's done really good this year with the Vikings, but he doesn't have the track record, right? A long-term track record. So I'm not sure what it would cost for him. But if you take quarterbacks and just put quarterbacks aside, right? The $23 million. I mean, you imagine what we can? I mean, you can get $23 million for a wide receiver. I mean, you get yourself. I mean, if you want to add another 5 or 6 to that, make it almost 30. You get yourself another number one wide receiver, right? $23 million. You can get. I mean, there's no tight end out there that's worth $23 million, right? There's no running back out there that's $23 million. You can get yourself an upper echelon tackle for $23 million. And I don't know who's a free agent or not. That I don't know. I'm just throwing, right? You can get yourself. I mean, we don't need a center, but Michael Schmidt's got to get better. But you can get yourself a guard. You can get yourself a Hall of Fame guard for $23 million. Defensive tackle. You can get another defensive tackle put next to Sexy. You can get yourself an edge rusher for $23 million. Upper echelon. They're probably not going to come free anyway. You know what I mean? But I mean, if there was one out there, really good one, you can get yourself a great edge, another great edge rusher. A cornerback you can get for that. Obviously, you can get yourself a safety, as we've seen with Xavier McKinney, and have some money left. I mean, you can get $23 million. I mean, that's so it would be just a gamble. It's a gamble. Now, I mean, obviously, pull back on his weightlifting so he doesn't do something there. Having him out of practice throwing balls and all. I mean, have something go wrong. The possibilities are very slim. But they wanted to, they didn't want that injury guaranteed going. So, he asked for his release, and they granted it. They were trying to do right by him, right? He gave it all, his all for this organization. We drafted him. He didn't ask to come here. We were to get him and drafted him, right? And he did everything he could in his power to be the best quarterback he could. Now, whatever the reason why he's like going backwards, going down, that's another story for another day. We may not ever find out the true reason, but he did everything he could in his power, right, to be the best quarterback, and he gave it his utmost attention and effort and all of that, right? And he gave a lot of his time to become a great New York Football Giants quarterback. Of course, it didn't work out that way. But, so the Giants tried to do right by him. He gave it his all, right? So he asked to be released. So they did, they did that. The problem is that, reading these articles here is that, and the kicker, right square in the cojones, if you know what I mean, right? In the cojones. Right. That's like a mule backing up and kicking a guy right square in the cojones. And it's just and a slap in the face, right? Is that it's like is that if if he suits up for, I think in his article I'm going to read, for like one game for the Vikings, which he could, because he's on the practice squad. They can elevate him 3 times, and he's still a practice squad member. I guess it's if they elevate him 4 times or whatever, But I mean, he's only been on the team for 1 week. They're not throwing him on the 53. Go out there, Daniel. Go start. No, it's not happening, right? And they don't need him. But I said, but maybe it might set up where possibly the last 3 games of the season, they can elevate him, right? He's practice squad. He can elevate 3 times. If you elevate a 4th time, that's when you got to, he's part of the 53. But the thing is that apparently reading a couple articles here is that if he winds up suiting up, just throwing some pads on for the Vikings and standing on the sideline with a headphone on, right? Clipboard, hat, maybe the hat on backwards, right? Got the the headphones on, listening to the plays, shorting plays and stuff like that. That's all he does. That's all he's got to do, right? He's eligible for a compensatory pick. I mean, the Vikings can get a compensatory pick for him. The Giants gave him $4.5 quadrillion, and they ain't going to get nothing for it. They ain't going to get absolute, because they let him go, and another team picked him up. They're going to get absolutely nothing in return for him. Absolutely nothing. As I said, the kicker of it is that, the Vikings are paying him like $100,000. What I saw on like Spot Track and Over the Cap and all, $100,000 is. I saw another thing that said he was getting paid $375,000 to be on the practice squad too. So I don't know, but he's on the practice squad, and they dress him 1 time, which they should, right? Just to stand on the sideline. If he leaves at the end of the season, if another team picks him up, they're eligible for compensatory pick. Now, just because he winds up leaving, if he goes to another team, whoever, the Broncos, Raiders, anybody, Jets, whatever, anybody, just because he does not mean they're going to get one. I mean, because it's the formula. Well, you let this guy go, but you sign. So it's like with the Vikings. If he dresses for the Vikings for 1 game, they're eligible for compensatory pick for him next season. But there's the formula. So the formula's got to go look at what did the Vikings lose? The Vikings lost Daniel Jones. They lost this. They lost this. They lost this. They lost these 5 guys. But they signed this guy. They signed this guy. They signed this guy. They signed this guy. This guy's salary was they signed him for $18 million. This guy signed for $17 million. This guy signed for $12 million. Right. So then they look. Well, you signed these 5 guys. And you're paying these 5 guys $80 million a year, just throwing a number out there, right? But you lost these 5 guys, and these 5 guys only signed for $42 million. You don't get caught. So just because if he suits up and he signs with somebody else, signs up one game, suits up one game for the Vikings, and he gets let go, and he goes signs someplace else next season, doesn't mean they're guaranteed a compensatory pay. But they're eligible for one. And the thing is, because he's a quarterback, quarterbacks usually make a little bit of money. Now, he's not going to, ain't nobody going in there swooping him up. Daniel Jones, you're our starting quarterback. Here's another $40 million a year. That's probably not going to happen. That's probably going by the wayside. Unless he goes to the right situation and they got a phenomenal offensive line with great receivers, and he can stand in the pocket, and it's a quarterback friendly, whatever or something, and it makes it a lot easier. Because with Daboll's, it was complicated. It was complicated, which makes it very tough, but very good also. Because it's like you go up to the line of scrimmage, and each guy, can run 3 different routes. So you might have, whatever. You got the running back going out. Maybe you got the tight end, 3 wide receivers, whatever. So you got 4 or 5 guys out there that could each run 3 routes or whatever. It makes it really good because it's almost like whatever the defense does, they're wrong. If you play me man to man, you're wrong. I'm going to do this. If you play me tight, you're wrong because I'm going to do that. If you back off me, you're wrong. If you cover me in the zone, you're wrong. I'm going to do that. If you got too high, guess what? You're wrong. I'm going to do that. So basically, it sounds like with the Daboll offensive system, once again, it's very complicated. It's not easy. Now, maybe was it, too much for, to get up to the line of scrimmage and, you got guys coming at you, ready to rip your freaking head off, and you're going in there, you're dropping back. Okay, they got 2, they're playing cover 2, so he should be doing this route, I think, right? This guy here should be coming across the middle, and he should be running a go, I think. All the while you're stepping in the pocket, and you got somebody ready to rip your head off. Not that easy. So obviously the Daboll system, if we get the right quarterback, right, who can think and pull the trigger and and all that, maybe we can really see some nice results. However, apparently we're not. That's one of the things we're not saying here, right? But there are other systems obviously out there that are maybe a little more quarterback friendly. Look what Sam Darnold has done. Well, let's just pull him up here. Sam Darnold, where are we at here? Sam Darnold. See what has he done with the Panthers? What did he do with the Jets? All right, let's see here. He was with San Francisco. All right, with the Jets. He's got Justin Jefferson too. So, but it's by far. His best with the Jets. His best was 61.9% completion percentage. This year he's thrown for 67.6% completion percentage. He has 23 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. He's thrown for 2,900 yards, 2,952. Next game he played, he only has to throw for 75 yards, and he'll eclipse his yearly high in yardage, 75 yards. So he should do that in the first half. of whoever they're playing next week. But with the Jets, his best completion percentage, Sam Darnold, was 61.9. Carolina, 59.9. His second season in Carolina was 58.6. And with San Francisco, he only threw 46 passes. And with San Francisco, too, right? Last season with San Francisco, you know how good San Francisco was last year. 60.9% with San Francisco. That's with Ayuk and Deebo Samuel and McCaffrey and Kittle and it's some really good players. 60.9%. When he comes to Minnesota, 67.6% completion percentage. His best by far. As I said, his best before that was 61.9. So he's going up 6 completion percentage points over his best. Right? So, so you go to some place where it's, quarterback friendly and all of that and everything, and look what you can do. So quite possibly, right, with Minnesota, Daniel Jones, might flourish. Now, I don't know if he'll ever be the number one quarterback there or not. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see. As the world turns, it's like a soap opera, right? But we'll have to, they do nice things there in Minnesota. A couple of years ago, Kirk Cousins, right? They went to the playoffs. What are they? 13-4 or something like whatever they were. They did not have a very good defense. This year, they're a lot better. That's a heck of a division this year, isn't it? The Lions got 1 loss. Vikings got 2 losses. The Packers got 3 losses, and one of the Packers' losses is to the Eagles. That's a heck of a division there. Whew, wow. But maybe I said in a quarterback-friendly area, environment, Daniel Jones just might flourish. We'll have to wait and see. But let me read this real fast here. I'm like, I'm saying it's not even so much the Giants won't get one, but if the Vikings suit him up for 1 game and don't even play him, he'll get they're eligible to get a compensatory pick for him if he signed with somebody else. It says New York Giants releasing Daniel Jones somehow got even worse. How could it get even worse, you ask? Unbelievable. Daniel Jones' era finally came to an end in late November when the Giants released him following an atrocious 2024 season. The Giants were 2-8 under Jones before Dable and coaching staff decided to bench him and after he asked for a release, the Giants obliged, and an era that the Giants fans hoped to forget was finally over. Jones decided to sign with the Vikings because he wanted to join a playoff team, and now the Vikings will get something that the G-men never would. According to Peter Schrager, the Vikings can get a compensatory draft pick if Jones dresses and is active for 1 regular season game. So I'm saying, so he doesn't even have to play. Just dress and be standing on the sideline for 1 game. Art Stapleton did point out that this was not an avenue available to the Giants, but it's still frustrating for the fans. Jones didn't work out in New York, and now another team could reap the benefits from him simply just dressing for a game. Unbelievable. The Vikings can get more draft capital for Jones while the Giants continue to get laughed at and dunked on for signing him to the extension they gave him in the 2023 offseason. It says Daniel Jones continues to screw over the New York Giants. Jones' 2022 performance paired him with the G-men making the playoffs, helped him get him that extension before the 2023 season. Of course, we all know that signing Danny Dimes to the extension was a huge mistake, but at the time, the Giants clearly thought the Duke product was trending in the right direction. Yeah. Fortunately, the 2023 season was a huge bust for the Giants' former first-round pick as he started just 6 games and threw 2 touchdown passes versus 6 interceptions. We all know how poorly he played in 2024 and why moving on from him was the right move. But now the Vikings will be rewarded for Jones simply throwing on pads for a regular season game. But that's if he goes elsewhere. Hopefully the Giants learn from Daniel Jones' saga and the team can get a better starting quarterback in 2025 and beyond because no one wants to go through this again. Now, so once again, they'll be eligible, right? Does not mean if he dresses and he goes something, they're guaranteed. I'm saying, he could go someplace and if the Vikings don't want him for what I said, the Vikings might keep him, right? Who knows, right? They might keep Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold's doing pretty good. Right? The kids keep Sam Darnold, keep Daniel Jones as his backup. So that way we got 2 really high draft picks, right? We'll sign Daniel. He ain't getting no $40 million. It can be interesting to see what he does sign, whoever he signs for, but what does he sign for? But if he re-signs with the Vikings, they're not getting a compensatory pick. Or if he signs someplace else, somebody signs him for $5 million a year, right? That doesn't guarantee them a compensatory pick. But it's just a kicker is that he spent all this time with the Giants. The Giants gave him all this money. He played all these games and downs and everything with the Giants, and they're going to wind up guaranteeing to get absolutely nothing for him. It just, sometimes it's almost kind of like, I don't know. It just, it's like they're damned if they're due. They're damned. It's like whatever the Giants do, they wind up getting laughed at. And this is another very, very comical, laughable, thing that everybody gets so laughed at the Giants about.